Apparently it's Monday Fun Day for Shannon. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Great, okay.
Man, old Texas Longhorn did his thing for me. The Georgia Bulldogs did what they supposed to do for me. The Houston Texans did what they're supposed to do for me. I feel good. Journey, you want to share this with me, Jenny?
No, I do not.
You know what this is? This is one more frog. Oh, I don't need that no more. That's one more frog gummy, old rat gummy, Skip. Because I'm about to get, you know what, Skip? Let me take the help.
Oh, he took the whole thing.
I need the whole lax gummy because I'm not going to do you wrong, Skip. Because I love you. I got so much love in my heart for you.
Yeah. We
had a promo shoot on Saturday.
Love disguises hate.
You had to work till 11 o'clock. I feel, you know what, Skip? I'm going to be on my best behavior.
Yeah.
Not. You deserve everything you're about to get because I asked you not to do it. I said, Skip, don't do it.
Jenny.
Yes.
Let me ask a question.
Okay.
Did the National Football League season end yesterday?
It did not.
It did not. Is there such a thing as getting flagged for premature celebration? Yes, there is. Premature celebration. So go ahead, get it out of your system while it lasts.
Jenny, you want one of the old?
I don't. No.
Jenny!
Way too early.
Jenny! I got this little dick. Skip.
It's always too early for Jenny.
I'm not that boring, but I mean it is.
Did Oklahoma?
6:30.
Did Oklahoma win?
No.
It was a bad weekend for you.
Did Mike Stoops get fired? Yes.
Whoa!
Yes.
Whoa!
How about that firing of Mike Stoops?
That's unnecessary.
Thank you.
Can I get some?
There we go. Yeah.
Are we going to be okay? I don't even know if you guys need me to set you guys up.
Here we go.
We got a full show. We have Baker Mayfield. He won. You can be happy about that. We also are going to talk about Odell Beckham. He complains again, and then the Super Bowl champs lose again.
What?
But we are going to start with Skip. Cowboys. Shannon, be ready for this one. Their offensive problems continued yesterday against the Texans. The Cowboys scored just 16 points, and Ezekiel Elliott was held to 54 yards rushing. Dak did make a great play on a 44-yard pass that came out Austin in the fourth quarter that set up the game-time field goal, but the Cowboys lost in overtime after DeAndre Hopkins' spectacular 49-yard catch and run. Wow, that was awesome to see. Dallas is now 2-3. Take a listen to Zeke and Dak after the game.
Obviously, it's frustrating. You lose your third road game straight for the most part. I mean, and then, as you said, it's the offense hadn't gotten going on the road, and defense, especially with them giving us all the chance they did, making the big plays down there in the red zone, holding them to field goals, and keeping us in the game, and we weren't doing our part. It's very frustrating.
It's tough, definitely, with being a close game as it was, and with the defense playing as well as they did, I think they had 2 or 3 big goal line stances, that one before the half where they didn't get any points, and, it's a little frustrating.
Okay, Shannon, who is to blame for the loss?
There's plenty of blame to go around, but I like to give the majority of the blame to the quarterback.
Really?
Because,
that's shocking.
No,
and new for you, actually.
Jenny. I could have swore you said Shannon.
I did.
You started with me. I didn't ask a rhetorical question. I didn't ask anything. You chimed in.
You've already eaten like 10 minutes of the clock. Go on.
That was like 30 seconds till you interrupted me. If you listen to Jadeveon Clowney after the game, if you listen to teams that play the Cowboys, they say we are selling out to stop Ezekiel Elliott. He's the engine that makes this train go. So, okay, if they're going to sell out to stop the running back, they're clearly stating, look, we want the ball in your quarterback's hand. The guy that Skip Bayless said is the best young quarterback in the game, better than Wentz, better than Goff, better than Mahomes. That's the guy Skip Bayless wants with the ball.
Was he throwing to DeAndre Hopkins?
Whoa!
I'm just curious. I'm asking.
No.
You're the football expert. I'm asking. I didn't notice. Maybe he did have a DeAndre on his
When it's
side.
your turn, you can ask me that question.
All
It's
right.
my turn. I do not answer questions.
Well, hurry. You're boring me.
But you'll be okay. That L, it was exciting me. The fact of the matter is as simple as this. They're not getting exotic in coverages. They're saying we're coming down and we're stopping Ezekiel Elliott from running the football. So Dak Prescott, you're going to be throwing against single high safety. Do with it as you may. He's not getting the job done. Now, look, Jason Garrett does not help the situation. I don't think he's a very good head coach, but he's not the head coach. That's Jerry's responsibility. I believe If you wanted Dak to succeed, you would have set him up for better success. Yes, you gave him an outstanding running game. Yes, they can run, block, and maul people. But for Dak, he needs weapons. All the young quarterback has those. The Wentzes, the Goffs, the Patrick Mahomes.
Interesting.
But in March, there was a guy that said, I don't need a number one. The Patriots have won a lot of Super Bowls without a true number one receiver. So he's telling me he's more than capable. Regardless of what you give me, he can get the job done. At some point in time, Skip Bayless, you're going to have to come to the realization. You're going to have an epiphany. You're going to have a deep talk with yourself when you're alone. I know you won't have this talk on national television, but when you're alone, you're going to say Cowboys are not going to make the playoffs. And I have no one to blame but my owner and my quarterback.
Really?
Because that defense is, they were playing last night. They were flying around, gave the Cowboys every opportunity. But what did your quarterback start doing? He was throwing balls to Tavon Austin like he was Mike Evans. Tavon Austin is 5'8.5", and he's throwing it to him like he's 6'4.5". And then he threw one out there to Deontay Thompson. I don't know why we would ever throw a pass to him. But that's neither here nor there. So the blame, I'm going to give, you know what? When the credit, Zeke had a career day, and all he talked about was Dak. So he gave Dak the majority of the credit. I'm going to give Dak 65% of the blame for last night's loss. I'm going to give the other 35 to Jason Garrett. We'll talk about him later.
Finally, are you finished?
I'm finished.
Okay, it is now my bleeping turn. So, I will be the first to admit that last night's game on Sunday night national TV football was simply the most excruciating and torturous game I've ever tried to root for in my long history of rooting for my Dallas Cowboys. It was one long vomit ride for me, and I could just see it coming because it was a one-play game, and finally Houston made the one play because Houston has a DeAndre Hopkins and Dallas does not. That boils down the game as simply as I can. It was so close and so far for my Dallas Cowboys because Houston has a playmaker and Dallas has no playmakers on the outside. So, before I unleash on all of my blame, let me be perfectly clear about this. This is not over. This season in the NFC East is just getting started because my Cowboys now fall to 2-3 and are tied with, guess who? The defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles are also 2-3 in the division. The New York Football Giants are 1-5 in the NFC East because they won one game at, believe it or not, at Houston against Deshaun Watson. How did that happen? I don't know. How could my team not close that deal last night, a game they should have won? I don't know. That leaves us with the Redskins, who play tonight on Monday Night Football at New Orleans. They're a 6-point underdog. They will lose that game to fall to 2-2 and remain exactly a half game up on Dallas and Philadelphia. And it's over, says Shannon Sharp. No, it's not. It's just getting started. And because I have a top 5 defense that played its tail off last night, a defense that will keep Dallas in every game from here on out, especially if David Irving ever returns, the monster in the middle. I still don't know. He had some personal issue. He was supposed to be eligible to play last night. He did not practice. They did not even fly him to Houston. But if he ever comes back, you better look out because you're going to be in bigger and bigger trouble because teams are going to have a hard time scoring on my Dallas Cowboys. And you say, blame the quarterback. He did throw 2 interceptions last night, neither of which was his fault. They were both bad bounce interceptions to little tiny receivers who should have caught the ball. Hit him in the hands, maybe the throws.
Man, stop it.
Slightly.
Yep. You see Tavon Austin 5.
You got to make that catch.
Come on.
Hit him right in the hands. But now let's get down to the flashpoint of the game. This is why it was so sickening for me. This is why I tweeted, I think I'm going to vomit. Because in overtime, the flashpoint of the game happens on 4th and 1.5. And I couldn't even get worked up about Jason Garrett punting. Of course, you were all over Frank Reich for punting last week.
That's a different situation.
I know, slightly different, but not really that different. Again, this is the one where I'm like Frank Reich. This is the one where I go for it 10 out of 10 times because that's just who I am, how I'm built, what I'm made of. Jason Garrett is usually a gambler in those situations. That's the one thing I like about Coach Clapp. He'll usually go for that. And you know why he didn't? Because they were inept on offense. America's team now has America's worst offense.
What?
It is at least the most unwatchable offense. And if Ezekiel Elliott has a bad night, if he is going nowhere fast the whole night, 20 carries for 54 yards, and on third down, what happened, Shannon? He lost yardage. He lost at least a half yard, if not a whole yard. So I just sat back when Jason decided to punt, and I said, I guess I got to clap for Coach Clapp there because he's just giving the game back to the defense. He's just saying, let the defense go win it, and they finally gave up one big play to one really great playmaker that Houston has that Dallas does not. So I couldn't even go crazy about that.
You shouldn't.
I think I would have punted there.
The difference is between Frank Reich says I have Andrew Luck, although I do not agree with his call. He's like, I have Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck had thrown for 464 yards against this defense. Think about that. That's what he was doing.
Are we saying Dak Prescott can throw the ball like Andrew Luck?
My team had 292 total yards of offense.
Exactly.
And Andrew Luck had 464 yards passing.
So that goes
because I have no playmakers. And Ezekiel Elliott, for all of his greatness, he did not have a very good night last night. I'm sorry, he just didn't.
Well, if you remember correctly, T.Y. Hilton had left that game because of a hamstring.
Yep.
Jack Doyle had left that game because of a hamstring.
Why I picked Dallas last night.
Left that game because of a hamstring.
I thought my offense could do a little something against the Houston Texans.
Really?
Really?
With your quarterback? Because this is what I know. On 4th and 1 in their own territory, Sean McVay trusted Jerry Goff.
They're a magic carpet riding. They've won every game. Everything's coming up roses or Rose Bowls.
You keep on making excuses for why other teams with young quarterbacks are winning.
Again,
at some point in time, come to the realization, Dak's not it.
If I had a true play caller that I trusted,
don't do that.
I'd go for it. Because Scott Linehan should have been fired after last night. I've been campaigning for Mike Stoops to get fired, and I'm on to something here. Scott Linehan has to go. It's just getting worse and worse, less creative, more predictable. I'm saying, what are you doing? Because on 4th and 1.5, I'm just calling the read option. I'm putting it in Zeke's belly, and I'm having Dak pull it back out. I want a called read option because the defensive ends are just crashing down into the middle of the line, and Dak pulls it back out, and he could run for 8 yards and a first down, and here we would have gone.
They said, we don't care. Ezekiel Elliott, and just like Mike Stoops got blamed for Oklahoma's losses, did Mike Stoops fumble the ball? Did Mike Stoops throw an interception?
You have no idea what you're talking about. It's been going on for years.
So did that?
So let's go to the flashpoint.
Can I talk one?
No,
can I
you
talk
cannot.
One?
I'm just beginning. It's my turn, Jenny, because he ended the football.
You mad they lost. No matter what you say, it's not going to get a win.
I'm making you look foolish, so here we go.
Make me look foolish.
7:37 left in the game. Dak Prescott finally makes one play, and he's usually worth one big play a game, and I don't know how he got away from J.J. Watt, but he did, and he's scrambling to the left, which is the wrong way for him to scramble, and at the last second, he's about to get blasted yet again, and he goes deep to Tavon and throws it over Zeke's head to Tavon, and they finally make a play, and it is 1st and 10 at the Houston 31 with 7.5 minutes, and here we go. It's 16-all, and